Today is the day. The 787 is getting dual motors. I'm either going to really love this project or I'm going to totally hate it. We shall see. It's the good stuff. Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. That's right. So I've done 2 speed runs with this car. Well, I've done 3. I did the unbox and review, and then I went back and I ran it on 3S and 4S, and the car did great. I don't feel like we need any more tuning. And we're going to go ahead and just progress right on to the dual motor system. Now, I'm not going to sit there and show like every single step. This video is going to be horrendously long, so I'll kind of do a couple things. We'll come back and I'll just explain what I got done, and we'll move on from there. So, to get this done, I believe I got all the parts. So, RJO58. This should be all the mounts and everything you need to move the stuff. So you got your dual motor mount here. You got all the mounts to relocate or to hold the batteries in place and to reposition the servo. I have a brand new motor right here, same exact that's already in there, and another ESC, same exact that's already in there, and I have some gears. Now this is all just going to be your choice as to what kind of gearing. You can run it the way it is. The only thing you'll need is one additional pinion gear if you're going to do this, if you want to keep the stock spur and all that. So alright, so I guess first step is we got to remove some parts. So let me get some of this stuff unbolted and I'll check back with you. Actually, I think this ESC, yeah, so the ESC isn't bolted. These battery straps I put in, so I'll be taking those out. And then there's really not a whole lot to the bottom here. We just have a few screws, and that's it. So I'm going to get some alcohol, spray it around the ESC, try to get it to start breaking that glue loose. We're going to have to take this whole receiver box and the ESC out. We're going to have to gut this thing down to a bare chassis. Alright, so that went actually incredibly fast. It took me longer to get the goo off of the chassis. So I had actually recently, one of my unboxes showed these little spray bottles. This is absolutely awesome. Because I sprayed everything down with alcohol, and that's how I got the ESC out in the button. And I sprayed it again, got most of it out. Where is it? I have this little tool. Oh, right here. This is actually an interior tool. I got this at Harbor Freight. I use them on my cars, but this was a great scraper for the carbon fiber. Plastic won't damage anything. So I got it down to where it's really sticky, and I couldn't get any more to alcohol. So I put some goo gun in this little thing, and man, we got it. And then after that, I used some parts cleaner, sprayed it, and just in case the parts clean off any residue, I used a little more of the alcohol and got everything cleaned up. So, started out, take the center brace off. I got that off. And then I went underneath here, and we got the servo off. I believe this piece was part of what I did is I left the screws in the parts where I can. So like in this little tray here is all my servo screws. So the screws that went underneath here, the 4 of them, 3, and then the 4 that actually held the servo in are all right there. So took that out. And then, well, I guess first you got to take the lid off. And then you take this box. Like I said, it's a couple of screws there. Then the servo, 4 screws right here. And then we got that out. So we're just going to sit that over there. Okay, so then next, I took the drive shaft out. So, you know, I got 2 screws there, and then that whole thing comes out. Now over here, you had these battery mounts that were over here. These have to come out, or at least the ones back here have to come out before you can get the motor mount out. So first thing was this case, and like I said, I got everything with the screws that it came out with in the brackets. I try to keep this as together as possible so we don't have any problem. Here's the motor mount. Took the 3 screws out. The motor was in there like so. There's the 2 screws for the motor, so all that's there. So first this whole mount came out, and then I was able to unscrew the motor and pull that, and then we got our spur gear out. Now I've seen other videos, and even Rlaarlo had a video showing that this thing was glued on there. They said there was a little strip of glue, and so maybe they listened to customer complaints, because I was getting ready to do some battle with this thing, and it just popped off. I had no issue with this. I have not tried to get this pinion gear off. Let me try real quick before we... I'm not even sure if this is the same size that I'm keeping or not. So let's see. See if this is going to be a battle too. No. We got just a nice little pop. Probably just the right amount of Loctite. Uh-oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, no, there it goes. Right on off. So I have to even see if this is the right teeth of whatever I'm using. So, there you have it. That's how I got all this apart. There's my receiver right here. Still got all the wires for the... actually, I guess I could plug that back. I'm going to figure out how all this goes, and then I'll check back in with you. So, open it up. You have 4 different screws. You have these 2 up here have like a round head all the way around. This one is kind of like the button head type screw, and then this one is your tapered screw that would go into like the chassis and stuff like that. You got some washers. You have a ball here for some reason. Maybe something to do. So they give you a new arm for the servo. They give you a horn for the servo. They give you steering linkage, I believe, and this ball, which I'm not 100% sure. Now, I did check, and this really nice metal servo that's on here, the servo horn, if I can move the ball down one, that matches this. The only problem is with this thing up here, is it going to hit the roof? So that might be the dilemma. Yeah, I'm going to have to get it all bolted in before I figure that out. Unfortunately, they don't give you any directions with this. So you kind of just have to fumble with it. The only thing you do get in the owner's manual here is this one little setup here, how they show you how they want like the receiver somewhere over there. I'm not even quite sure where that's going to be. Looks like it might be on the ground, having the battery sideways and all that. So that's the only clue you got as to how this kit goes. So this isn't going to be hard. I got the 4 battery mounts here. This servo mount goes here on the brace. This other servo mount right there into the chassis. And then we got the motor mount, which only goes but one way. You see, you can't really like reverse it. It won't fit. So it has to go in the right way. And I would believe that the screw holes here would be like for the motor. So the motor should go here. These screw holes here should face that way. And then here, the top of these mounts have the screw holes that go into here and hold it all together. So not too bad, not too bad. Got to remember, there's a bearing right here that goes either before or after. Oh, we have to put this gear back on first. Okay, I kind of already forgot how that. I think this goes on. And then you have the bearing, which rides in here. Yeah, there's a spot there for the bearing. So there's actually 2 bearings. So I would think the small bearing pokes through, and then, yeah, we got it. We got it. I'll check back in with you when we get this thing together. Oh, also, these are, in case anybody knows, these are the same ESCs, VS120. This is the one that came in the car. It's green. This is the one I just purchased. It's red for some reason. I don't know why, but they are they are the same exact 120 amp VS120s. And the motors here, they are both the same 3660. How many kV? I don't know. Oh, it's right up here. Oh, that says irritable. 3660, 3900 kV. Irritable. Times 2. Dude, I just think this is going to be the coolest thing. I don't know. I don't have any dual motor cars, but to me, having an RC car with 2 motors, 2 ESCs, that's just wild. Just absolutely wild. Especially in something this small. Something so compact. Alright, let's get at it. Everyone, I gotta admit, I am like super pleased with how well everything goes together. The screws in the chassis, everything lines up. It's not that difficult a job at all. So I started out, I got the 4 mounts for the batteries, put them in. Then I got the new spur gear put in. What else? Then I got the motors mounted onto here, onto the motor mount. Okay, so there's a bearing. Don't forget to put the bearing in before the motor mount. There's 2 bearings. So get your spur gear in there. Get your motors set up. Get the bearing in there. Slide it all in there. I did it with the motors on here already. Already put these screws right here in. And just put this thing in. Flipped it over. And everything on the bottom side is going to be the screws with the tapered head. So they're all the same. Don't worry about that. So they're all the tapered head. The shouldered screw right here holds in the motor and is on top of the motor mount. I had put the washers in here. I felt like it would help. Like I said, there's no instructions, so I did that. So I screwed in the motor mount from the bottom, and then I went ahead and got my mesh set, did one motor, then the other motor, and then when it came to the ESCs, now I know they show like the wires being over here, but if you look, there's a plug here and it says temperature. I'm guessing the ESC reads that and it'll shut off power if it reads these motors too hot. I couldn't rotate the motor around like they showed to do that, but I think it works better because these wires being over the fans, you know, hey. So, and it all fits nicely. So the only thing I got left here is we're going to go ahead and get the servo mounted up, and then we're going to neatly get these wires put in here. Let's see. So we do have a Y cable here to go into the receiver for both of these. So both ESCs will be fed off of that. And then the servo, all that's going to go to the receiver, which I'm probably just going to go ahead and mount it somewhere like right here. Although I got all this extra loom. I don't think it's going to fit underneath the servo. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. It might. But nah, I don't think that's going to be long enough to clear anything. That's just going to be in the damn way. So probably end up having to cut some of this so that way I can take that up, and then we'll mount the receiver right like that right behind here. Oh, it's almost, I mean, this thing it's going so smooth. I am like so thrilled with this thing. Like I said, I'm done. I just have to put in the servo. We have to hook up the linkage, however that's gonna go. Oh, I think we have to go under. Yeah, that's okay. So maybe that's why we need that shorter thing. I'm still gonna try it like that, see if I can't get it to work. But that's the progress, man. Like I said, it is rolling along nice and smooth. This is beautiful, even without instructions. This is very easy to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's done. You know, it was going way too smooth. Always have to have that one thing that holds you up, and it's something that's been bothering me since day one with this, and it's the servo. It would always steer more one way than the other, so I had the dual rate set really weird, like 30 on one side, 60 the other, so that way they would both actually turn the same way. So it took me a long time of just messing with the I forget the name of it, the sub trim. So I basically maxed out the sub trim. I think on this remote, the Dumbo, the DDF 350, I think it's like 35, so I maxed it out the one way. I got the servo horn on as straight as can be, and it seems like it's for some reason the servo it wasn't moving in one direction as much as the other without anything connected. I had everything zeroed out, and it still would only move. So it's probably just a bad servo, I don't know. But I got it, we got it, so check it. Oh, God. It's been a long day. So, finished up, we got the servo here screwed on. Using the original horn, I did move the steering piece back down to the bottom because it didn't seem like it was working very well up here at the top. I think I mentioned earlier, because of these heat wires, I couldn't put the ESCs the way most people have them. But the battery should hold the cables. I do have this one zip tied. There's nothing to zip tie this one out of the way. I mean, worst case, I can do that, tie it up. But check it out, I got the two power buttons right here. Got everything nicely tied up. We got the receiver right there. There's the servo. Got ESC motor. I think it's a pretty clean install. I mean, about as good as you can get, I think, with this. So, let me know what you think. I think that is just so cool. Like, you just don't think like you're gonna pop this thing open and find this much in here. 2 motors, 2 ESCs. I think it's wild. I can't wait to get out there and run it. So make sure you hit that like, subscribe, join us, and watch us do the speed runs, and watch us do other stuff. We got boats, we got planes, we got all other kinds of stuff. I have discounts for you in the product description, and if you care to help me, a free way is just use my Amazon store, set it as your homepage, and when you shop, I get a commission for that, and it helps me out tremendously, and it adds nothing to your cost. Plus, if you want to, you're so inclined, there's PayPal links and stuff like that down there as well too. So I never expected or greatly appreciated. So check it out. What a beauty. So now we're really going to find out how fast this car can go. So stay tuned. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you're looking to do this build, like I said, I know I didn't do it step by step, but it would just made a crazy long video. So I figured I would just do it, and then I could sit there and slowly explain to you how everything went. But it's not a bad job. I just think there's something wrong with this servo. I probably should have swapped it out, but I'm kind of cheap. All right, everyone. Appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.